These are the 7 teachings in making no room for vengeance in our schools and communities. The first teaching is that we are all profoundly interconnected. Albert Einstein said, "A human being is part of the whole, called by us universe." We experience ourselves, our thoughts and feelings, as separated from the rest, a kind of optical illusion of our consciousness. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature. American astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson stated, "We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, and to the rest of the universe atomically." For example, we share the same physical and emotional needs, such as connection, physical well-being, honesty, play, peace, autonomy, and meaning. When these needs are met, we feel happy, hopeful, joyful. When these needs are not met, we feel angry, pained, depressed. It is important to note that these needs do not include entitlements to an iPod, an Xbox, or a cell phone. These we call false needs, or false strategies to get our real needs met. In addition to needs, we also share in each other's relationships. And because of this relatedness, any action has the potential of impacting anyone. We call this the second teaching, the ripple effect. It is like dropping a pebble in a pond that sends out concentric circles along the sea of humanity. Chaos theory states that when a butterfly flaps its wings in South America, the wind changes in North America. This points to the interconnectedness of natural forces around the globe. Climate change is another visible reminder of our interconnectedness within nature. We may not always be aware of the impact of our actions on the environment, but we must eventually realize that our actions have consequences. And we must all be accountable for each ripple that we cause. The third teaching, accountability. However, because we cannot see the original butterfly who flapped his wings or the reason why the first pebble was dropped, we tend to assume that the actions are intentional. This especially happens when one is harmed or when we do not like the other person. This is where anger and vengeance begin to seep in and judgments are made. For example, in the story of the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise is often judged to be lazy because he did not run, but the reality is he could not. The mixture of anger and judgment fuels vengeance, resulting in the dehumanization of the enemy, causing us to justify or blame the other person for why we cause harm. We call this type of thinking errors. In such a way, we are abdicating our own power to control our own behavior. This happens in our own personal relationships and even in war. And as more time goes by without dialogue, the more we dehumanize and the more entrenched we become in our beliefs that we have been victimized and that we are justified in our actions to seek vengeance. According to a Chinese proverb, he who seeks vengeance must dig 2 graves, one for himself and one for his enemy. But if we practice the 4th teaching, seek humanity through understanding, feelings of anger and actions based on vengeance can be replaced by feelings of empathy and actions motivated by forgiveness. Numerous scientific studies have proven that the ability to forgive is tied to one's ability to heal emotionally and physically. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself by not permitting another person to control your actions. You forgive the person, but not the act. But often, the opportunity to seek humanity never happens because our culture deals with conflict in a very unhealthy manner. Today, in our society, we either fight hire professionals to do the fighting for us, such as lawyers or teachers and even parents. Or we rely on others to solve our conflicts, such as judges, parents, or the school. And we may even bring our own friends into the fight. We may even use social media as a shield so we can say very hurtful things to each other without seeing the true consequences. Or we may avoid conflict at all costs and allow vengeance to continue to seep in. And as time goes by, the bully gets bigger and bigger, and we become more powerless to handle our own conflicts. Because we deal with conflict in such a dysfunctional manner, we have lost our way, and we must teach our children. The Dalai Lama said, "If the 20th century is a century of violence, let us make the 21st century a century of dialogue." The 5th teaching, an authentic dialogue, where observations of actions without judgments are made, where feelings are expressed, needs are known, and requests are made. And in that dialogue, we will practice the 6th teaching, searching for the goodness in each other. Russian novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky wrote, "Nothing is easier than to denounce the evildoer, and nothing is more difficult than to understand him. But when we have an authentic dialogue where we search for the goodness in all, we create the potential for positive transformations, to find the goodness that Anne Frank met when she wrote, "In spite of everything, I still believe that people are truly good at heart." For greater transformations to occur exponentially, we need to go beyond the original ripple and live the seven teaching. Challenge each other to create a greater wave by doing good with your life and continue to pay it forward with forgiveness.
God gave me a second chance, so I just passed it on.